Greetings everybody, it's me, your friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete, and this is my series Nails in the Coffin, where we learn that with great kills, there must also come great nails. Starting a new franchise today with John Carpenter's masterpiece of horror, 1978's Halloween. But before I get started, if you're new to this channel, firstly, thank you for selecting this video to watch. Here on my Nails in the Coffin series, I take the on-screen kills in horror movies and I rate the decisions of the victims. So if the victim makes a stupid decision like running upstairs instead of running outside, or if they just stand there with their mouth open in the face of danger, they're going to get 1 nail in the coffin. My scale goes up to 4 nails in a coffin. To earn 4 nails, the victim must have fought hard to not get killed, or if they sacrificed themselves in order to save others. And I'll give a surprise kill where the victim had no chance to defend themselves, 2 nails in a coffin. And if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments down below. Also, let me know how many nails you would give some of these victims in this movie, because that'll be a lot of fun to read. I am excited to cover this franchise. I just wrapped up covering the entire Friday the 13th franchise, and I'll have a link up there for the playlist. We recently left Camp Crystal Lake, and now it looks like we're going to be staying in Haddonfield for the next few months. When this video goes up, we have 80 days until Halloween, and we've got 12 movies to cover until Halloween Ends comes out. So, oh, who are you? Are you just gonna stand there the entire time? Okay, let's get started, and let's put some nails in a coffin for John Carpenter's horror classic, Halloween. The first kill in the franchise is Michael's older sister, Judith. She was babysitting Michael on Halloween night, 1963. She was on the couch with the boyfriend, Danny, making out. Then they decided to go upstairs for some fun. While this was occurring, Michael was outside looking in through the window. After Judith goes upstairs with the boyfriend, Michael enters the house. He grabs a knife from the kitchen. Danny then comes downstairs less than 2 minutes after they go upstairs, and he's putting his shirt on. Okay. After Michael watches Danny leave, he picks up a clown mask and he dons it. He then goes upstairs to where his sister is sitting in front of her mirror brushing her hair. She's topless, and the door to her bedroom is open, which is kind of weird if you're babysitting. But he walks into her room. He pauses for a second to look at the bed where the deed had just occurred, rather briefly, I may add. He walks up to Judith, and she yells at him, and he takes a knife and stabs her 9 times in the chest, killing her. The very first kill in the Halloween franchise is Judith Myers, and I'm going to award her 1 nail in the coffin. As soon as she saw Michael, he started to stab her, but all she really did was cover her breasts instead of pushing him away or hitting him. Now, granted, she was caught off guard, and I'm not going to count it against her that she was sitting topless in a room with the door open when she's supposed to be babysitting. Now, granted, she was caught by surprise, but she could at least push Michael away, try to get up and run, hit him, do something. And from the looks of the kill, she was just covering her breast as he was stabbing her. Now, granted, you don't want your little brother to see you like that, but he's stabbing you. I figured that wouldn't be a top priority at the time, so I didn't really see Judy defend herself at all. So, sorry about this. So, first kill in the franchise, I'm going to give Judith Myers 1 nail in the coffin. After Michael kills Judith, he goes outside and stands on the sidewalk right as his parents are coming home. His dad takes his mask off, and Michael just stands there silent while his parents look confused as to what's going on. I must add, I love the cinematography in this movie. The use of the camera work is excellent. John Carpenter and the cinematographer really do an excellent job with this movie. It's now 15 years later, and Michael had recently escaped from Smith's Grove Sanitarium. Our next kill is Annie. She was babysitting young girl, Lindsay, and she wanted to go pick up a boyfriend, Paul, so they can have some fun. So Annie drops Lindsay off where Lori is babysitting Tommy Doyle so they can watch a movie together. Annie leaves, she goes in the garage and gets in her car. As soon as she gets in her car, she notices the windows are all fogged up. Well, this is caused by Michael's breathing in the back seat, but Annie doesn't notice. Before she can get the car started, Michael grabs her from the back seat and he starts choking her with his hand around her throat. She's struggling, but she can't get his hand off of her throat, and eventually, as she's struggling, he does take a knife, slashing her throat, and kills her. I'm going to give Annie 2 nails in a coffin. She was struggling the entire time, but he did overpower her, and I don't think it'd be easy to get someone's hand off your throat if they're grabbing you from the back seat. I think the person would have an advantage if they're pinning you to the back seat, having all that leverage. Now, granted, yes, she probably could have honked the horn, but I don't think that would have done any good as far as saving her. Might have gotten some people's attention, but not enough to save her in time. So she did struggle. She wasn't given much of a chance. She was overpowered. So second kill in the movie, I'm going to give Annie 2 nails in the coffin. Michael's next victim is Bob. He and Linda just finished making friends upstairs, and she asks him to go downstairs and grab a beer. He goes downstairs to the kitchen and grabs some beers. He notices the door to the outside is open, so he closes it, and while he's looking around, he's surprised by Michael and gets pushed against the wall with Michael's hand around Bob's throat. Michael then lifts Bob up off the floor, holding him against the wall. Michael takes his knife, stabs it through Bob, pinning Bob to the wall, killing him. And after the kill, Michael kind of admires his kill, and he tilts his head to the side in a subtle yet effective pose. I'm going to give Bob 2 nails in a coffin. You know, he saw an open door and closed it, and he was looking around. Michael was hiding in the pantry and surprised Bob. Bob did struggle, and he tried to get, Michael's hand from around his throat. But then Michael lifted him up against the wall, so there was a lot of pressure on his throat. Therefore, he probably couldn't swing at him or nothing. Or that's why he didn't punch him. So Michael is very strong in this movie because it's really very difficult to lift some up the way Michael did there. So he was overpowered. Bob did try, so I think he definitely is going to earn himself a solid 2 nails in the coffin. After the shape kills Bob, he covers himself with the sheet and Bob's glasses. And he goes upstairs to see Linda. Michael opens the door and Linda thinks it's Bob standing there. She asks for her beer after flashing Michael. She gets annoyed that he's not answering her, so she gets up and calls Lori. While Linda is on the phone, Michael walks up behind her and chokes her with the phone cord. While this is happening, Lori hears this on the other end of the phone line, but she thinks it's just Linda messing with her. Little does she know, she's currently being strangled to death by Michael. And I do love the shot with Lori on the phone, and then Michael picks up the phone and holds it to his ear. And it kind of really sets the tone for the rest of their relationship throughout the franchise later on. Not too many kills in this first installment of the Halloween franchise, but that definitely will change, the further along we get covering all these in the Nails in the Coffin series. But I'm going to give Linda 2 nails in a coffin. She thought it was Bob under the sheet, and she had no inclination she was in any danger. And Michael walked up behind her, surprised her, and strangled her. She fought as much as she could, but she was overpowered. And this kill kind of makes me a little sad because I don't think Linda knew that it was this crazed, escaped psychopath killing her. For all she knew, it was Bob, and that kind of makes it more of a sad kill. But she did what she could to avoid it. She wasn't given much of a chance. So for the final kill in the first movie in the franchise, I'm going to give Linda 2 nails in the coffin. The movie ends with a fight between Michael and Lori. Lori was hiding in a closet and Michael was busting in. She stabs him in the neck with a coat hanger and Michael drops his knife. Lori picks up the knife and stabs Michael in the chest and he goes down. Lori gets out of the closet. She tells Tommy and Lindsay, who are hiding, she tells them to go run outside and get some help. And while Lori is sitting on the floor trying to contemplate what the hell just happened, Michael sits up, and I think this is a really cool shot that even the wrestler The Undertaker would kind of emulate the way he would sit up from the prone position, and it looks really cool. After Michael does get up, he attacks Lori again, and Tommy and Lindsay had already ran out the side of the house, screaming, right as Dr. Loomis was outside. During the struggle between Lori and Michael, she was able to remove his mask, and as soon as Michael puts the mask back on, Dr. Loomis arrives in the house, and he shoots Michael multiple times until he falls off of the balcony. And then you can see Michael laying on the ground, but when Dr. Loomis looks over the edge, Michael is no longer there. And another part of the movie that I love to death is at the very end, where Lori is still sitting on the floor. She's totally distraught, and she has this quick exchange with Dr. Loomis as she meets him for the first time.
What's the boogeyman?
As a matter of fact, it was.
Such a good ending. I love it. And then we hear John Carpenter's iconic theme, as well as Michael's breathing in the mask, and we see shots of all the places where Michael has been and places where he has killed people. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Those are all my nails in a coffin for John Carpenter's iconic movie, 1978's Halloween. Here's a quick summary of all the nails in a coffin I've awarded. What an excellent movie. I love pretty much everything about it. The directing, the performances, cinematography, definitely one of my favorite scores in all of horror. And I also like how you don't really hate any of the characters in the movie. They all feel like real people, and everybody is pretty much likable. Thanks again for checking out this video. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. I really would appreciate it. And I will see you here next week for Nails in a Coffin on Halloween 2. I am your friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete. And remember, with great... Oh,